What's up, IARC311? In today's tutorial, we are going to explore the drafting tools offered in Revit 2019. The drafting tools operate closely to many of the Autodesk softwares you may already be familiar with, specifically AutoCAD. This gives us a great launchpad to familiarize ourselves with the basic functions of Revit drafting. These skills are going to carry over into all aspects of a project and are critical for efficiently producing your virtual model. Let's start by creating a new project. From the column on the left-hand side of the screen, select New under the Model tab. This will generate a new window and give you the ability to select a preloaded template to start your project in. Select the drop-down and choose the architectural template. Then select OK. You should now see the main Revit interface. In the project browser, select Level 1 Floor Plan if that view isn't already selected. In your model space, you should now see 4 elevation tags at the north, south, east, and west locations. Let's start by drawing some simple detail lines. Detail lines are two-dimensional and are only drawn on the plane your view is set in. They will only be visible in that view. This differs from model lines, which can be drawn on any specified plane and show up in every single view. We will study model lines at a later date. Now select the Annotate tab in the taskbar. Select Detail Line. In your model space, click once and pull your line across the screen west to east. Notice the blue temporary dimensions that give you a real-time reading of your line length. You may also type the dimension after your first click. Revit will automatically extend your line in the intended direction and the intended dimension. Press Escape after you've clicked to end drawing any more lines. Note, if this chain box is checked, Revit will begin drawing a new line at the endpoint of the previous line. However, don't get this confused with a polyline as AutoCAD will produce. All line segments in Revit report as individuals. There is no polyline function in Revit. Let's continue drawing a 100-foot by 50-foot rectangle. Notice the blue dashed temporary align lines that appear when the end of a plane or an object is aligned or paralleled with another object. This is a nice feature to quickly lay out line work. In the ribbon, you will notice the taskbar has switched from the Annotate tab to the Modify tab. In the last two ribbon segments, Draw and Line Style, you can select the type of line you would like to use. For example, circle, rectangle, arc, spline, etc. Line style determines the line weight and style, for example, dash, dotted, solid, being used from a preset customizable library of line types. Any line style can be changed by simply selecting the line and and changing the style from the drop-down menu. Under the Modify tab, let's look at the Modify tools. Many of these tools are going to be familiar to you from your previous experience with AutoCAD. Note that hovering over each tool or any item in the ribbon will give you a definition of the tool and provide a short video graphic illustrating its function if you need some assistance with that tool. Let's start with the Align tool. The Align tool will align two objects into the same plane. The Offset tool will move or copy an element or elements to a prescribed dimension in a prescribed direction. The two Mirroring tools will create a mirrored copy of an element or mirror the element itself based on an axis. The Split Element tools, as the name suggests, will allow you to split an element into multiple parts. The Move tool allows for precise movements of a selected object. The Copy tool will copy single or multiple elements to a specified location. The Rotate tool will rotate an element from a central axis or from a specified point. The Trim Extend Corner will join two unconnected elements at their projected intersection. This tool allows for an angled corner or a radius corner as selected. This tool is similar to the Fillet tool you may be familiar with in AutoCAD. The Trim Extend tool allows you to trim or extend an object or line to another selected object. The Array tool will copy an element multiple times in a prescribed distance or shape and in a prescribed number. And finally, the Scale tool. This tool allows you to change the scale of any object to a desired dimension. Please keep in mind that while all these tools function the way that they are intended 90% of the time, you will run into issues where they seemingly will not do what you need them to do. For this, we will need to study deeper and understand more of the functionality of the Revit software. That's for a later date. Also note that these Modify tools are used to modify 3D model elements as well as the 2D drafting or detail elements, as Revit will call them. Now let's navigate back to the Annotate tab. On the Annotate tab and in the ribbon bar, let's go to the drop down next to the Region tab. Filled regions are regions that are comprised of multi-line shapes with a hatch pattern or a fill pattern. Fill regions can be made transparent or opaque. Masking regions are multi-line shapes comprised of lines and a flat, opaque plane. The mechanics of drawing each of these are the same, so let's select Filled Region in the drop-down menu. In the Properties browser, click the drop-down and select Diagonal Crosshatch if it isn't already selected. Notice that all of the elements in the model space are gray and can't be selected. The elements, however, are still live and can be used as a base for drafting when using a Modify tool. Select the Rectangle tool from the Draw column in the ribbon. Hover over the northwest corner of the rectangle drawn previously until a pink square appears at that intersection. Click once and pull the rectangle to the southeast corner until another pink square appears at that intersection, and click again. In the Mode column, click the green check mark to close the filled region drawing. You should now have a rectangle with a diagonal crosshatch filled region pattern. Class, these are some of the basic and primary drafting functions within Revit. They are going to be used throughout the modeling process and throughout your whole entire future with Revit. Study these and practice them to become familiar with all of their functions. This tutorial is not meant to be the end of your exploration into the drafting functions of Revit. It is exactly the opposite. It is a basic jumping off point for you to explore, learn, and develop your own modeling process. Use this to develop and hone your skills so that you can produce models efficiently, quickly, and perfectly. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.